Hey guys, welcome to another session of Epic 7. Today I'm going to be talking about Charles, and we have a Charles banner up, so hopefully this video will help players decide whether or not you should pull for him. Long story short, even before I even show you anything, yes, you should pull for him. Like, he's absolutely one of the best RGB, red, green, blue heroes at the moment. Damage dealer, and he's we call him bruisers, so like higher survivability with high damage. He's very good, one of the strongest right now. It is one of the top picks for World Arena or RTA, but I know that other people choose like SSB, Arbiter Vildred, but to me Charles is like my go-to. I think that would still remain the case even if I did own an Arbiter Vildred, and obviously I don't, so I can't really say much about that. Like, would I change? I don't think so. Charles is so fundamental to me. He has so much in his kit. I'm gonna take a look. We're gonna go through my gear, and of course, as my review videos now, I'll show you guys clips from GVG, clips from World Arena as well, so you guys can know like how he reacts. Like, if you're kind of new and you don't know how Charles is, like he's one of the best, and this return banner is one of the biggest hypes for myself. I'm definitely going to be pulling for him. I think I'm going to go for a triple S on him. Ever since the ego fragments were implemented, I think imprints now are even a bigger deal. There's so much to cover. I'm just gonna get into it right now. First things first, since I talked about the ego fragment itself, if you get a triple S, you have a 14.4% critical hit chance to all your party members, right? Except himself, of course. That's how imprint releases work. If you have an imprint concentration on, it's to himself, but his critical hit rate as well. You really don't find that a lot in a lot of other heroes. I can't even remember one off the top of my head. It's either you have critical hit chance on the imprint release and not on the imprint concentration, or vice versa, or it's some other imprint. So for example, like actually no, that's not true. I take that back right now. I just thought about one. ML Mercedes, I think, is crit imprint release, crit imprint concentration. So oops. Regardless, if you get him, because Charles is a 5-star base, the imprint release, imprint concentration for the critical hit chance here is higher than, let's say, someone like ML Mercedes, which I think is capped at 14%. Actually, I could check it. Because I do have her, and I have her max imprinted. She's somewhere here. There you go. I think it's 12% crit chance, and 14.7. So being a 5-star base, you get a bit more advantage as well, so keep that in mind. You get a bit more out of the box. 2% more exactly. 16% if you get a triple S, which I think he is worth it. It's just that, if you're free to play or you don't spend that much, don't go too crazy, of course, because the next thing like Smilegate gives you like this Charles banner. It's like, oh, everybody pull for it, and then the next one is like a bait banner. Anyways, that's too much off topic. His skills, very great. If you plan to use him for all sorts of content, especially PvP related, I would definitely recommend max moling him. There should be no question about it. The amount of damage he does is pretty insane too, because his scaling is very, very unique, I suppose. In terms of like other heroes, his scaling is also like very weird. So like, for example, a lot of HP based bruisers would be like all health like scaling, but Charles is definitely a unique one. I definitely enjoy it. His S3 is based on how many targets are on the map. So I think it's 1.2 times mod, which is already really high. Keep in mind, this is an AoE skill. 1.2 times mod without a soul burn is very high as an AoE damage, and then you get 53.4% more damage versus 3 targets, and 80.1% more damage versus 2 targets, 106.8% more damage versus 1 target. So very fitting for GVG, RTA, and even just Arena. As you can see, that scaling is pretty incredible. If it's at 100, if it's a 1% left, you're looking at a 2.4 times mod, which is very high. I think that's as high as almost any cleaver. The only downside, of course, is that Charles's base stats are low in terms of attack and HP. We'll talk about that, why that's important Even though he doesn't scale on HP, it is still quite important. So yes, I definitely do recommend max moling this because of the scaling, the raw damage that you mola here. So 5% damage dealt, 5%, 10%, 10%. All of that is added to the equation of your final output damage. Of course, critical hit damage being the last portion in the damage formula. Long story short, it means that if you max mola, he just gets more power. It's scaling, right? So it's really good. The S2 is it's called Smash. 100 up to 100% chance. So you do have to mola this up to 100% chance to dispel all buffs. Vital and very, very important to have, especially if you're fighting heroes without much effect resistance, so like other DPS, for example. Very, very handy, and getting the dispel is like an addition to the damage dealt. Now the damage dealt on this is pretty good too. As you can read there, damage dealt increase is proportional to the number of buffs granted to the caster himself. He himself can put 2 buffs on himself, so every single buff past the first one will begin to add an additional damage mod, which is fantastic. So if you get 1 attack buff, if you get 1 buff, it doesn't count. If you get 2 buffs, it starts counting from the second buff onwards. So if you get 6 buffs, it counts for 5 buffs, etc., as you can see. But this will cast increased attack for all allies. So he's a strong cleaver and an AoE attack buffer, and he has a defense buff for himself. So that makes his survivability a lot better going forward, unless you get stripped, of course. Yeah, so it's a like I said, 0.07 increase per buff, and the mod starts at a 1.5 single target damage, very high, up to a 1.85. That's counting, I think, all 6 buffs, I believe that's the calculation. I think it's like 5, it counts up to 5 buffs, so you have to have literally 6 buffs on him for the max amount of damage that you can receive from Smash, which is incredible. If you place him with Alina, C. Armin, you got invincibility, you've got immunity, you've got resistance buffs. If you place him with DN, you got anti-crit buff, attack buff even before he goes. Ideally your DN should be pretty quick, get the attack buff up before. Barrier buffs. So Charles is like just an insane unit to have, even just based on like, he's good solo. If you have it on a counter set, he's super crazy solo, to be honest. He's really good with support, and he supports, right? And he dispels, and he debuffs. You look at the S1 here, he has a up to 60% chance. So 1 mola at the +3 there will get it to 60% chance to decrease attack for 1 turn, and then 35% chance to activate Smash. Effect chance is doubled when the enemy is buffed. All right. Doubled when the enemy is buffed. This is 35% chance. This is actually calculating already with the exclusive equipment, Justice Mask. All right, so this has a 10% additional increase for activating Smash into Slash. All right, now obviously I already kind of showed the stats, but we'll get to that in a bit. So this is why it's 35. So if they are buffed, it's 70% chance to get that, which is again amazing. So this is a 1 times mod, very standard, and 1 POW. All right, 1 times POW. So it's very standard for a single target damage dealer on the S1. Not too weak, not overly strong. He doesn't need it. If you do use the other exclusive equipment, I think it's the middle one there on the 3 icons. It increases it to a 1.1. I think it's increased like 10%, but additional percent proc rate for the attack down. I personally think that S1 into Smash, getting that extra 10% and then doubling that effect when they are buffed is probably the best bang for buck. And of course, getting the highest attack out of this exclusive equipment, which is 14%, is the best. Of course, at this point, if you're watching this video, you can craft this exclusive equipment. All you need is fodder, and you can craft it, and you can select the skill, which is fantastic. His S3 exclusive equipment is also nice as well. I just don't feel like it's that great because if he gets an unbuffable on, the S3 basically dispels the debuffs on him. But if he gets an unbuffable on and he uses the S3, he's not gonna dispel it first before he applies the attack buff and the defense buff. So therefore, I just defaulted to this one, to the S1 one. And then you guys already seen my stats there. And Elbrus Ritual Sword is I would say the only artifact that he should be paired with. I know that in his banner, it shows that he's with Justice for All. Minus the fact that Charles's face is literally on the artifact. There is no semblance in why you want to use that. I was saying in one of the developer buff notes for that artifact, it's saying if at the beginning of the turn it grants two buffs, it's a totally different story, but the artifact doesn't work that way. So 100% Elbrus Ritual Sword is the way to go. You know, some may argue, hey Jagan, even if that artifact was buffed the way you said it, yeah, I still wouldn't use that. I would sort of agree, because I think Elbrus on any damage dealing knight is just insane to have. So definitely good. Again, like you see in the substats, the stats there, he's not that impressive. This is on a counter set with immunity, of course, though. So the stats for Charles is pretty hungry. Ideally, you do want some effectiveness on him for the strip. I know a lot of people just ignore it. I ran him on a speed set as well. Speed set is really good if you can get the speed up high. And the fact that you can get speed set, it's basically the T88 Hellrage sword that you can purchase. It can roll really well. So let me just pull up you know, a couple of the pieces that I had on him before. Just keep in mind that he has low base attack, like 900 plus. He's not at the 1000s, so he doesn't really benefit from like this one. This one was the one I was like kind of running him with. When I was on a speed set. Here, I showed this in another video. I'm gonna show that again. This one's on my K-Ron now. This is a flat attack. You can see that it dropped like 17 attack. Now, of course, this does have a 6% attack substat there, but a flat attack can still be beneficial. So if you do roll some gear that has like flat attack but like really good substats, I'm talking about like, let's say a speed boot with a flat attack sub, and you know, it has let's see, it has like attack, crit chance, crit damage, maybe health, or maybe speed, depends on what you're going for. You could definitely roll it. For Charles' sake, I think it can work. So you can see this comparison live, right? You see the comparison live. I mean, the flat attack versus a percentage based attack is 60%. Scaling off his attack is not that bad, so don't worry about it. I mean, yes, you're gonna lose a bit. Every bit counts, but if you get like really good substats on like a flat, I would definitely roll it. Definitely usable. If it's not usable for Charles, usable for others like Jay Kisei and Watcher Shuri in terms of DPS. In terms of speed here, I have to put him on a speed boot because on a counter set. So speed set, I mean, the good thing is that you don't need to run a speed boot. Your attack should be well over 3,000, well over 3,000. Crit damage should be as high as possible because the crit damage is the last piece of data that the damage formula takes in order to calculate the output damage. So with all the you know, the S3 scaling with the amount of people left on the map, with the S2 scaling with the amount of buffs he's granted, the critical hit damage is the final denominator in terms of how much damage you're going to do. So obviously the higher crit damage, the more damage overall that you've built up from your attack, from the buffs, from all the special scaling, of course that's going to go up with it. So your critical hit damage should be high. 250 crit damage is relatively safe. 80 to 85% crit chance for any type of bruiser. Obviously for Charles, the higher the better, because it tastes really good when he does the S1 into the S2. Now I know I'm choosing special language here, but hopefully that's somewhat laughable. So I got a counter set. So these are subs. I just placed this on him. I really want him to be permanent on a counter set. I'm not really satisfied where his defense is and his HP. Ideally 1200 defense, 14,000 HP, 15,000 HP would be very delicious, but it's very hard to get. Like I said, he as a Gemini knight, he has about like 5,000, if I'm not mistaken, like 5,200 or 5,600. I could look in the hero's journal, but for the sake of the video, I'm not going to. about that kind of level of health. In terms of a knight, it's very low. So if you're going for, let's say if you're going for like an HP, I don't know, if you let's say you want to put him on a counter still, and I'm just gonna plop in a ring here, and you guys can see here, if I put up like this Alencia one, it's an HP one with really high crit damage. You see the HP goes up, of course, but your attack drops so much that it's like, it's kind of insignificant. I know I'm breaking the immunity set, but I'm just trying to put trying to show you guys. Yeah, so I put an attack boot on right now. You can see like it's not quite there, especially if you need him to be a speedster. So a lot of people do like running Charles now for defensive cleave comps, since he can put up the attack buff up, and if he could get the attack buff up earlier as well, the idea is that if people hit you, if you're on a counter set, or hit other heroes on your team, if you're on Elbrus, that he would be able to proc the S1 and maybe into the S2 with an attack buff. And of course the attack buff makes a huge difference when it comes to the damage output. But as you can see, if you do go for health subs, let's see here, boot, maybe I'll try to main stat this one rolled pretty high. If you do something like that, I mean, you're going to lose on something, right? If it's on a counter set. If you're on a speed set, it makes a lot more flexibility, but I think ideally what you really want is to get health substats and go for main attack, whether on the ring and on the boot if you're going speed set, or like what I'm doing here. Anyways, I'm going to show the substats, how they rolled. It's not super high. Of course, T88 counter gear really opens up how Charles can be built. I have several T88s that would fit him. It just depends on what I really want. Do I want more HP? Do I want more speed? This one's a crafted one, or a converted one rather. 14 crit chance. It has all the substats that he really wants anyway, so it's perfect. And this one, you guys saw that. Rolled okay actually. I do like Charles on high defense. When he gets that defense buff up with a high base defense or high total defense, it does change his survivability. And if you have him on a counter set, getting that defense buff up is vital, because you want to survive any hits in order to retaliate back. This is the speed boot that I got him on. I show you a couple of the T88 chests that could make him a different type of dude. I'm gonna go with the highest experience here. Couple of them, yeah, as you can see, like this one will give him more speed, but I lowered the HP. Get more crit rate, lower bit crit damage. It's all like, yeah, to be honest, it's not that important. Yeah, maybe more speed. Like if I want more speed, you drop that in there. But like I said, you can go with a speed set, and I think speed set is probably the easiest way to do it. Most likely you're farming Wyvern anyway, and like I said, because the T88s are real build openers, if I could put it that way, real build openers, as in if you roll a really strong T88 gear, you're really set, because T88 gears roll high substats, and if you get lucky and high rolls, you're really making the rest of the gear work, so to speak. So either right now he's on a counter or he's on that. I know if you are a newer player, you might be looking into a crit set. Crit sets are fine, totally fine. Damage Charles, yeah, run a crit set, it's fine. I would definitely do recommend end game should be on a counter set with really high stats. Of course, you need like insane rolls for each piece, and of course on immunity set. Immunity set I think is so vital on a Charles. You get that lucky 15% RNG if you put him on a defense team and you don't get stripped by a stripper or something. Ooh, that's really good. So anyways, that's my Charles, and you know, Smilegate I think really loves Charles. The amount of love he's actually seen in multiple like cutscenes in the game itself. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you guys have seen it, I'll probably most likely post some clips here. Just, you know, I could do some editing, whatever, editing magic. Anyways, so I really do think that you know, he's a cool character to boot, and then he does so much. So I'm gonna throw in a couple of my like PvP footage and montage, and then I'll show you guys a live playthrough. just cleaved them all to death? I think so. I don't think they got a turn. I think he lost. Yeah. Not much he could do. Yeah, he lost. I think he went for the wrong one, but he would have had a tough time sustaining it with a Robbie there anyway. Do we want to emote? Yeah, we got it. Okay. Yeah, that barrier is not gonna stop this. Is it kind of like no point doing? Yes, but I'm gonna do it. Naked Ruser, yeah. But it wouldn't have helped. It's the same result. Hopefully I get an Elbrus proc. That would be nice. Okay, we got one. Alright, this was a really beefy one. That better not strip. Okay. Oh, that hits hard. I think I gotta kill him off right now. He has the attack buff up. Oh wow, that's lucky. That's very lucky. That's very lucky. That's very lucky. We're gonna go for Arby right now. I didn't crit, crap. 91 crit, man. Yeah, the Celestine was worth it. Worth the purchase. Worth the purchase. See ya, Lena, you did your job. That was close. That was very close. Alright, and we are back. So I want to hit this guy here. There's a lot of green Basars on defense team now. It's like everybody's go-to. So there's not much I can do in terms of that. I'm gonna go for this team. I'm gonna go with Alina. I'm hoping that they'll hit me a lot and Elbrus will proc and you guys will see like the magic happen. But this is live. This part is live, so I can't predict what's going to happen. I can't choose my footage to edit, so to speak. Okay, so yes, so you can see this. Charles goes first on this team. So the idea is Charles sets up for everyone else. So once the attack buff is up, everyone else following suit would be just insane to deal with.
Children of the stars
and of course I'm using the Alina Magar tome trick. Since Basar's, DJ Basar's, what do you call it? His CR push is up to only 30%. Magar's tome will cut in based on the speed tuning that he had. But so far no Elbrus procs, so feels bad. No counter, no Elbrus procs on in my Charles yet. But hopefully we'll see something. What? It's like he's not even geared. What? What are the probability? What? Okay, I'm all right. Sorry, I try to show off, but he doesn't want to. All right, he doesn't want to show off live. So yeah, you can see that this is gonna be brutal because if he strips it, I resisted it. Okay, good. Alright, it's over, but that was kind of he didn't get even a single counter or Elbrus. That's just bad luck. That's just very bad luck. I'm gonna try refreshing and see if I can find another battle here live. The counter or the Elbrus will work. Alright, so let's see.
This is only a temporary alliance.
No attack buff on their team. Oh, they're all really fast though. That's not good.
And hesitation. I'll sever everything with this.
The SSB I think will beat my Alina, but we'll see. There you go. Elbrus finally procced. There you go. Okay, can I strip it? Can he look good? Okay, he stripped it. Oh, I just beat it just by a bit. That was a bit risky, but anyways.
Blessings of the stars.
Elbrus there. Oh, I should bring my MLCC as well. I do like using 2 Elbrus Ritual Sword users. MLCC and Charles. And potentially, at this point of this recording, ML Tywin is announced. Potentially he'll be another Elbrus user, but we'll see. There you go. There you go, Charles. There you go. Okay. Alright, but no proc though. Feels bad. Proc it. Thank you. Counterattack. See, this time no Elbrus, but counterattack went. So that's really nice. So if Elbrus fills you, counter set has a chance to get you a kill. I'm still in protection. And I could still possibly get another counter. So he could have countered himself to death. Or he got 2 Elbrus Ritual Swords procs. Oh, he has Moonlight Dreamblade. Okay. And because he has Moonlight Dreamblade, actually I don't know if it counts that as the extra. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, I should be autoing this right now. I have my hands on my chin. Except just now I just clicked the mouse. But yeah, so as you can see, very fun. Definitely a very strong DPS. I'm gonna see if I can find one more fight since I had to have some flags. I gotta kind of cater it to this team comp. There are other ones where it's just like, you know, 2 dark damage dealers. I'm like, okay, just bring a light bait and then just let Charles Elbrus them to death. Those teams are fun too, but right now in the arena meta, we are facing a so for example, like this guy with the Kayron there. Like if I bring Charles in, it's most likely a fast Kayron to anti Bazaar pretty much. Okay, this one should work. This one should work. We're gonna use a MLCC on this one. Let's just bring Charles in there, of course, and MLCC will be able to help stop the strip for the immunity.
Run before it's too late.
So again, see, and Charles of course cannot counter on ML Lytica since her skill prevents counters, so you can't do that.
The stars light our way. The chosen.
And Analytica, I think it was only 25% CR boost, I think. But anyways, it can't beat Alina's tome. But this is like my Alina showcase all over again, pretty much.
Now I'm getting bored.
It's like the exact same team I ran. Oh, this time only MLCC went.
I won't go easy on you.
Now MLCC is a bit faster on this one. When I was using speed set Charles, I would be able to throttle the attack buff up before she does. But it could be just a bad RNG roll. We have a lot of CR on the timeline. I think Charles will cut in, to be honest. I think so. Yeah, he's dead there. Revived. Yeah, he is. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is the rotation I do want. I want to showcase this. He's the first one out of the invincibility, so he's also going to be the first one hit. But he gets a defense buff up now, so this is very good.
Slowly.
He does Elbrus, but he is blind, but it's okay. He has his attack buff up. Yeah, if I land the hit, boom, it's over. It's very strong. As you can see, I'm very excited watching this. Counterattack, yeah, this is where counter Charles comes in handy. You see, so since he's the first one out, if you have Elbrus and you have him on speed set, he's gonna sit there and just take hits. But if you got him on a counter set, he will retaliate back with that attack, with that defense buff, and then win the overall thing. But I'm gonna use this because it has so much damage. With an attack buff up, of course, MLCC can hit really hard. but that's maybe another video for another time. I know that MLCC has a Mystic banner as well, so people have been asking, hey, what should I build her as? Anyways, I'm gonna keep looking for more fights and clip it together. This one will work, Mon U. It should work, unless everybody's really fast. Which is a high probability. The MLCC is most likely on some sort of... Oh, that's a level 50 MLCC. Okay, never mind. We should be okay. I was gonna say that MLCC may be on an Aureus. Let's check it out. If it's on an Aureus, my Kayron might have a hard time killing. It's on Aureus. That's okay. Okay, so CR boost goes up, but the MLCC will get the hit. And RB is too slow, so my Alina will cut in again, and I'm protected. My Charles may not... I'm worried my Charles will actually cut in before ML Ken goes. Ideally they get their turns first and let Charles do his thing under the invincibility buff. No. They go first. Alright, we got a counterattack. Perfect. Got Elbrus. Nope, no proc. They're buffed too, so that's very unlucky.
How much better I am? Ultimate!
Another good thing about the combining Charles with the C-Armin or Alina is that he's under protection on this hit to get the buff up for ML Ken. Otherwise ML Ken would just like slap him dead, like here. But because it's not really the turn end, ML Ken can't do damage there. Alright, he was gonna hit counterattack. Oh, I love it. I love counterattack. Look at that. See, this is why counter is the way to go. If you get hit hard enough, counter is the way to go. 100%. I love it. I'm now blind, but no, I missed both. It's okay. ML Ken is dead. And then we got RB and it's over. So you can see Charles on a counter set is way to go. But on a speed set he's still deadly. And like I said, you can get more damage stats on a speed set. But on a counter set, man, just opens so much possibilities. Especially on a one-on-one scenario. I know that if you guys are watching this video and you guys hit my GVG defense, Charles is like always there. And there were a couple people that hit my GVG defense and showed me the clips of how the fight went. They ended up having Charles last man standing, and the problem was I wasn't on a counter set, but they were using someone like G Purgus or like an Angelica or something like that, hitting my Charles until he default died. If he was on counter, that game could have been a bit different. So from that clip onwards, I was always like, you know what? I really want to get him on a counter set, but yeah. This one will work too. Sergi, this is my last flag, so I'll hit it. This one will work with the team comp I have here. I will use Kayron on this one.
Significant.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind. Counter set it's gonna be much harder, but you do have Hellray drops. So because you have Hellray drops, you're gonna look okay, I think, in terms of getting decent gear potentially. Hopefully we land it. Oh, we landed, and then Charles has a secret passive. He crits fire heroes. That's another thing.
Blessings of the stars. Let's start with something light.
We won't be able to get rid of the skill null here, which is kind of bad. Hope that RB is actually as fast as he looks in terms of the CR. It's not just lucky CR, because my SSB won't be able to break the skill null. Well, this works. Counter and Elbrus will break the skill null. Perfect. Oh, perfect. I got all the skill nulls open. All the ones I need. I always try to kill off a Roger first. Oh, and she gets the turn first. Oh, this is perfect. Too fast. That's actually better for me. I just opened up every single important skill null. And open that, which is great, because that can put RB into death. No defense break. Oh, that's Rosa on.
To determine the victor. Ashes to ashes.
I'm gonna kill off RB right now. It's always my thing to kill off RB first. So on his counter, SSB may be able to counter him to death. Or on his revive rather, not counter.
Can you hear the
We got Provoke coming up for Lilius, which is no problem on Charles here. And we didn't get blind, which is perfect.
For victory.
We didn't get the proc, but
Now,
okay, now I do this.
this is what you get. For ruining my vacation. Oh, it's too late to back.
So I slap it back.
I won't go easy on you.
Oh, the Moonlight Dream Blade is going crazy. Oh, he's dead though. Okay.
It's time to draw my sword.
I'm just gonna do the S1. Like, even when I'm hitting like other people, unless I'm trying to dispel, I usually just go for the S1, hoping for the S2.
Stars light our way.
Unless it's one of those like you have to kill them in that turn. Let's say like it's a Ruel or Maid Chloe about to revive someone. Then yes, I'd use the S2 straight away. But something like that, I just go for the S1 just to see if I can get more damage in. Anyways, that's it for that showcase. I mean, I'm out of flags. I'm literally out, so I can't go and do more. But in terms of Charles, again, my review on him, the best, I would say the best, single-handedly the best RGB hero ever released to date. And he's so good that he is on par with a lot of ML5s. All right, with a lot of ML5s, he's actually on par in terms of how strong he is overall. Other than the base stats, I would still have to say it's low. His speed is actually not bad. I should note that his speed is actually not bad for Knight. But because of low base stats, that's the only place I would say he suffers. He has really high crit chance to boot. I think he has 2 awakenings in crit chance actually. The last one I know for sure because I hunted those fused nerves like crazy back in the day. 4 speed. I think he has a 104 speed or something. Yeah, 8 crit chance there. And a 4 crit chance. Yeah, crit chance speed and crit chance pretty much. And he doesn't really have much health and defense. So in terms of a Knight, like I said, those 2 are probably the most lacking stats. Defense and health, I would say, is a really high priority. Consider yourself really lucky if you hit those stats. Like I said, defense at 1200, health at about 1400. 1500 is most likely you're running a right side main with an HP, but you know, you could get high rolls. Like I said, I mean, these are not super high rolls. Like this one rolled okay, it just went to the wrong ones. Like if it rolled health in there instead of effect resistance, but you know, Charles on effect resistance is nice too, especially paired up with Alina's buff. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. I don't think I've missed out anything in terms of Charles. This is like probably the most in-depth review I could give at any hero, and it's just because I mean, you can even see he's my rep, man. He's my freaking rep, man. Old man Charles. This is probably as in-depth of a review I can give on any hero. So I hope I haven't missed anything. If you guys haven't seen, actually I'll run one Banshee farm. He's in my one-shot Banshee. if you guys haven't watched my how not to one-shot Banshee video, that's probably it. Actually, no, you know what? He might not be able to do it now. I'll have to see. Because his stats are changed. I used to run him on a speed set for the Banshee hunt. So I'll tell by the first.
There's nothing to say.
For this first. Oh yeah, no, I already can't do it. No, screw it. No, my speed tuning is off. I would literally have to rebuild him to speed tune for the Banshee hunt in order to do it. So I'm not gonna showcase that. But you guys, if you guys haven't checked out that video, definitely check it out. He is my cleaver for wave 1 and my damage dealer for Banshee herself for the one-shot Banshee. It's a 40-second run with the team you see here at the table. So anyways, I think that's it. I mean, he's really good. I mean, I can't put it anywhere. I can't put it any better than that. He's really good. Must pull, and if you can afford it, pull multiples because his imprint is nuts. Anyways, I'm gonna end that here. Hopefully that's been helpful, especially for newer players looking at the banner. Hopefully, you know, we will see him back again. For those watching this video, maybe post banner, maybe in a mystic rotation, or even if they ever return him again, definitely pull him. But we'll see what the meta is like back at that time. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.